This is your host, Holy Critic, and welcome back to a fresh installment of Quick Reviews. Today, I'm going to break the normal conventions and review my first ever 70s movie on the channel. Someone Behind the Door is a French psychological thriller that pairs up Anthony Perkins and Charles Bronson. It's not exactly the acting combination you'd ever expect to see, but strangely enough, it works. So Perkins plays Dr. Lawrence Jeffries, a brilliant brain surgeon who specialises in memory loss. His fanaticism with work, however, has driven a wedge between him and his wife Frances. Their marriage looks to be all but over, with strong suspicions of infidelity plaguing the relationship. Lawrence is a deeply prideful man, and any thought of a messy divorce is completely out of the question. So to avoid having his name and reputation dragged through the mud, he begins concocting a diabolical plan. With his expertise in the field of neuroscience, he attempts to twist the mind of his latest patient, played by Charles Bronson. If you've ever seen The Manchurian Candidate, you'll know where this is heading. He plans to use psychological trickery to convince this violent amnesiac that Frances is actually his own cheating wife. That way he can maneuver him into murdering her and thus getting off scot-free. It's a preposterous premise, I admit, but Perkins and Bronson play their respective roles so convincingly well that you ignore all the loopholes. The atmosphere of tension slowly builds over the duration as Bronson's personality is slowly peeled away like layers of an onion. He appears genuinely vulnerable and in a state of quiet panic as he's puppeteered by the evil doctor. On a philosophical level, it makes you question the concept of free will given all the factors which can unfairly influence it. Someone Behind the Door was an unexpected delight for me. It was both harrowing and unnerving to watch at the same time because it plays around with your feelings towards the characters. Should you feel empathy or disgust, anger or sadness? Everybody shares their burden of the blame, including Frances, whose vapid glibness drove her husband's repressed rage. It's a movie worth watching, but beware of the adult themes, which include a particularly brutal rape scene towards the end. Weirdly enough, though, it was rated GP back in 1971, which roughly translates to PG-13 today. Now, I'm not exactly sure who made that decision, but considering the graphic nudity and violence, I'd say they made a gigantic error. Anyway, with that aside, my final rating for Someone Behind the Door is 4 halos out of 5. If you're willing to check it out, it premieres on Wednesday at midday New York time over at Jesus Wept Movies. Please follow the link pinned in the comments below to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thanks again for your continued support, and this is Holy Critic, signing out.